Some of the greatest sins that we will commit in life is because we forgot who we are, and where we're going in life. Even if it were just for an hour or two could mean the world of difference. You have to have a desire to serve God no matter what. I guess the best way to say it is, you have to love another greater than yourself in order to serve God. And you may not find someone great to love, but maybe you're looking the wrong places. Look to God. If you love Him and really realize how He stuck His neck out there for you, although you've been only making mistakes, and He's still there with you, still reminding you that you could be all what you want to be and more. If you just read the Word and study to show yourself approved, clean yourself up, and start making yourself happy, starting with the Word of God, then you will see that life can not only be good, but it could be great. Sometimes we have to go through depression in order to understand what people are going through when they say they're going through depression. But it goes a whole lot deeper, because some people get to a state of depression where they completely isolate themselves. And they isolate themselves to a point where they can't be reached. They shop the same places that you shop. They may eat the same things as you may eat. They may enjoy the things that you may enjoy. They look just like you. They look normal. But they're fighting depression. They're fighting sin. And although you may feel as though it's just a phase or a season and they'll get over it, left untreated, it could only become worse. That's why we need good leaders. That's why we need people who have been there and done that. You don't have to go to the extremes of sin and depression in order to understand what someone is going through. And that's what a lot of people fail to understand. If you've lost something, we all know what it means to lose something. And although the value that you may place on something that I have is different than something that you have, the feeling of that loss is the same, regardless of what it is. This word will wake you up, because we'll say, you know what? It's not over. I still have an opportunity to change. And instead of compiling your problems, your angers, your unresolved feelings, begin to separate them. Now, I know what you're thinking. I barely have the strength to do that. And quite honestly, you're going to have to get to even lower depths than where you are right now to understand the root cause of your problems. But it's worth it. You're already down in the pit. You just need to go a bit deeper to find out what is making you feel this way. For a lot of people, it's anger. And we, especially spiritual people, we have such a difficult time dealing with anger because we understand that we should get over it. By getting over it, we sometimes just push it to the side. We never completely forget about it because we're not fully trusting in God, so the problem remains unresolved. But if we trust in God and He says, lay all your burdens down at your footstool of Jesus and He'll take care of them. You don't have to bear the burdens alone. When you understand this to its fullness, then you realize that you may be in this big world, but you're not alone. And just in case you were looking for a word of encouragement, where does it say that Jesus went through something like this? He said when He was preparing for His death, you may strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter, but I'm not alone, for my Father is with me. There's no greater pain that Jesus felt than feeling alone after all the work he instilled in his apostles, he instilled in the people, the faith he had in them and still has in us. It's unimaginable. But the love that Jesus has for us is so deep. It goes beyond our faults to see our very needs. It takes us out of depression simply by us understanding his love and, more importantly, the purpose of his love. We separate ourselves from that place of feeling stuck in order to rise out of bed and do God's work. Now, God may not want you to go to Jerusalem and speak his word to strangers you don't know. He may not want you to go into a church and preach a word to them. He may just want you to get up and live life. Because you may not know this, but there's someone at your work that's been watching your cheerful disposition. And it inspires them to continue, although they're dealing with spousal abuse, although they're dealing with a great loss that they cannot explain, although they may feel as though they're losing themselves. They look to you for that comfort. And I get it. You're saying that I'm not Jesus. I'm certainly not anywhere near perfection. But when someone's in darkness, they don't need a great light to follow. They just need to see a light of hope in order to continue down the right path that leads them to righteousness. That they can meet the greater light, which is God. And you'll be surprised. Sometimes it's those same people that inspire you. Fighting depression, fighting sin, is not all bad. You're fighting. The flesh may leave you feeling as though you're stuck and you're going nowhere. But the very fact that you're living, still fighting, still taking care of your children, still holding together your marriage, still making someone happy other than yourself, still going that extra mile for someone who's in need, means that it's not over. And you're way stronger than you think. What if you're not there? What if you're stuck in bed? Well, you're hearing this message. You're fighting. Get up. Fight some more. Fight harder. Get out. Let the sun shine on your face. Sometimes we remain in closed doors in order to block the shame or the depression in which we're going through. But it's by light. Simply by the sun shining on your face, it brings a joy. It brings a hope that you didn't know existed. Get out. Go for a walk. You may not look your best. You may not even smell your best. But get out anyway. It's for your best. Read the Word of God. Read this word of Isaiah 65. Read it in its entirety. And see how it could wake you up and get you out of that place of depression, that place of feeling stuck, feeling alone, to a place of happiness, of belonging, of joy. When you weren't going through depression, you still never found joy. But now you hit rock bottom, you understand what it means to be down, and it's time for you to find out what it means to be on top. God bless.